So I'll take 6 minutes to quickly run through what all happened in the past 2 days. Before I go into that, of course, as you would all know, conference of this scale requires a lot of preparation, and we did have a lot of fun preparing for the conference. So Shaimi, can you show the pictures of the conference preparation as well as the events? So the event, first of all, there's one thing which I would like to highlight upon is, number one, this is probably the first time 3 different entities, one a public entity, which is a government body, which is Jan Shikshan Sanstha under the MHRD Tvm, University of Kerala. That is a government body, and then comes an NGO, a society, which is Indian Society for Training and Development, and the third entity, which is a private entity, which is my company, t4trainer.com. So all these 3 entities doing different kinds of training programs in different ways and different scales, I would say. So all 3 joined together, and this is what the power of collaboration. I would say, rather than doing things independently, when you actually collaborate with the entities in the right manner, things of wonder can happen. And that is what this conference is all about, National Trainers Summit 2K17, which has happened in Kochi. I shall run through the events, the highlights of the event. We started off yesterday with an inaugural function wherein we were originally supposed to get our education minister. However, he could not come due to certain, certain work-related issues. So instead, he sent us a message that was read out, and yes, the program was inaugurated by Dr. J. Lata, the Vice Chancellor of Cochin University, and where she cited the importance of education and also shared some of her experiences as the principal of School of Engineering and how education should actually mold a student totally and not just impart some knowledge. After which, we did have a thunderous, I would say, a wonderful session by our special guest, Ms. Diana Dentinga. She has just left from the place for another appointment. So Diana, she is the founder of Meaning of Life School, Italy, and she actually made us all think, and she told us about how we need to live in this nanoseconds era and the way one had lived in 1987 and the perception of life that we have now, based on the word now. So that was the inaugural session, post which we did have the keynote address, a very celebrated speaker from UK. We are actually very, very happy, and I should say we should be so thankful for her to accept our invitation and come over to Kochi. And that is none other than Ms. Smita Tharoor. She's a sister of Shashi Tharoor, and I hope you would have easily recognized her with her voice itself. She, with her eminent personality, simplicity, and her words of wisdom, I should say she took the audience into her magic. And she actually started talking about her childhood days and how parents should guide children about and how to eliminate the unconscious bias we all have towards people. And then after her keynote, we had a very, very, very vibrant panel discussion on employability. Again, I should say that the employability panel discussion was supposed to be moderated by Professor Anandakuttan from IIM Kozhikode, as well as another panelist. However, due to certain last-minute contingencies, Professor Anandakuttan is in US, so suddenly he had to cancel his flight and the things. So, and on last minute, we arranged 2 other panelists, and I would say they actually did brilliant justice to their roles, and we did had a very, very fiery panel discussion on employability yesterday. After which, the post-noon session, yes, the post-noon session marked the beginning of 2 of the contests which we had during this conference. One is the trainer talk contest, wherein we had 16 trainer talk contestants on stage performing for 4 minutes. I know it's very, very tough for a trainer to actually present for 4 minutes. However, I would say you all did a brilliant job by making that 4 minutes presentation. And yes, we also had a very good jury who guided them, including Diana, as well as Mr. Shamim Rafiq, as well as Mr. Vipin Roldan, who was the jury member for that contest. And they also guided the participants end of the program. And yes, we also had after which, I mean, during this trainer talk itself, we had 3 other very important sessions, speakers, invited speakers. One, a young bureaucrat who was striving in his own way to change the employability of villagers, Mr. Vishnu V. Nair. He is a Kochiite. He is currently the sub-collector of Tirunelveli, and he actually shared his knowledge on different areas like bureaucracy, democracy, and how efficient bureaucracy as well as democracy can be. He also gave us the lives of certain community in Tirunelveli called the Narikuravas. So that was a very, very different kind of a story we could hear from a very young guy. And then came Ms. Malati Menon. Now, what should I say about this madam? Should I say something, or what do you want? I mean, how did you feel about Mrs. Malati Menon? That's what. So she says she's only 18-year-old. She's an 81-year-old, inspiring and motivating personality. She runs a school for teaching Tiruvadira, and of course, she also played the edekya. She plays a lot of instruments, and that was really a brilliant, inspiring story. We also had a yoga trainer, Ms. Lizzie Abraham. She actually gave us the different kinds of she told us about the different kinds of schools of yoga, and that was again a very insightful speech. Yes, so that marked the day 1, and now here we are in day 2. Quickly running ahead, today's first session we had a panel discussion on corporate L&D, learning and development, led by Mr. S.R. Nair, and the panelists were Dr. K.K. Jain. We had Mr. Dinesh Thampi from TCS, we had Mr. Anil Kumar from Action Ridge, and we had Mr. Binod Krishna from Cognizant. So all of them took through the entire corporate L&D and how it functions, and I mean the pros and cons of that. And then, yes, today's afternoon session, I mean today's pre-noon session was yet another inspiring as well as patriotic session by the Navy, the Captain Puneet from Naval Academy, as well as his 2 cadets. They have actually come from Erimala. They explained to us how Navy trains the cadets to actually become the officers for tomorrow. So that was a brilliant session. In fact, though we exceeded time, due to popular demand of the audience, we had to actually extend the time, and they were very much appreciated. And then came today another, even though we were in the lunch break mood, people were ready, people were all seated, hooked onto their chairs, listening to 3 inspiring speakers, 3 inspiring stories. One is that of Mex Vijay Raja Mallika. And today, I think all of us have learned something new from her and how to treat everyone equally. And then, of course, our Dr. Rashmi Pramod, who is a blind doctor currently running a school for autistic students. We also had Ms. Shija. She is a paraplegic person, however, running a very, very institution for cost account, professional cost accountant training. So that marked the pre-noon sessions, and then post-lunch, we started off with an activity by our Dr. Sunil Gupta, and then we came on to a keynote address by a very beautiful and multi-talented Dr. Som Singh from Bangalore. And again, she told us about various things, including how to transform India through digital education. And after which, we had a detailed panel discussion on e-learning, the future of training. We just concluded that. And currently, we are at the valedictory ceremony for this 2-day conference. So just to conclude, this 2-day conference, of course, I don't know if we call it an academic conference per se. That is, the whole concept has been to trying to bring together different types of trainers, different types of training people, trying to bring together different kinds of training people in the training ecosystem, and getting inspiration as well as sharing the inspiration. That has been the total positive motivation behind the setting up of this conference. And yes, as being one of the organizers of this particular conference, just one sentence about my T4trainer.com. T4trainer.com is a platform for trainers as well as speakers to create a profile online, as well as Any client who wants to hire a trainer, verified, certified trainers are available there. And all the trainers who are registered there, as well as who wish to enter into training profession, are requested to do that. And secondly, we are also coming up with a certification model for the trainers to ensure quality. So with that, I think I'll conclude my summary. I believe that all of you had a great 2 days of learning and sharing and networking. And yes, thank Almighty once again. Thank you.